friends, how are ya? Welcome back to my channel for a video that I have mentioned multiple times before that I really want to do, and that is just answering all your questions about what it's actually like to make YouTube a full-time job. I don't know if you know this, but I actually did YouTube consultations for a while. I might bring them back one day because they are a lot of fun. I just kind of am tight on time, but I really enjoyed learning about what questions you guys have, and I realized how many people are genuinely interested in maybe doing it themselves and seeing if it's worth the effort for them to maybe try to make money themselves off of YouTube one day. And I will say there is so much potential money in YouTube. I'm not there yet, but I hope to be there one day. And it's crazy to me that it's almost been a full year of me doing this full time, doing nothing else on the side, which is absolutely crazy. But I asked what questions you guys want to know on Instagram, and my goal for this video is to get through as many of them as possible. So I'm not going to over elaborate on every single point. I almost want to halfway rapid fire through these to pack as much information as possible into this video for y'all. And there were a ton of recurring questions, so I'm gonna try to get to those first, and we'll just see what we get through. One thing I want to touch on, which will take a little bit of explaining, is the income streams off of YouTube, because that was a question that was over and over. And I would say personally, there's three primary income streams from YouTube. First and foremost is AdSense. So that comes from YouTube once a month, and that is every single time someone views an ad during your video, you get a very small percentage of the revenue that the advertiser pays YouTube. I think it's like a 60-40 split, and you do get paid more when people actually watch ads on your channel instead of skip ads. So if you have a creator that you really admire, turning off any ad blockers and watching ads all the way through, skip the long ones because that's not worth it. But you know, if it's a 30-second or 1-minute ad, that is the primary way how YouTube creators get paid, and that is a huge help to creators. Second, which you might have guessed, is sponsorships. Sponsorships are when a brand asks you to talk about their product, and it's typically a contracted thing. They'll say, we want you to talk about this product for 60 seconds within the first 3 minutes of your video, and we will pay you blank. It's typically how that works. And then the third income stream is affiliate links. Affiliate links are not sponsored, but if there's a product that you really love and you're gonna talk about it in a video and link it anyways, sometimes you can link through an affiliate program, meaning you'll make a percentage of commission of sales. Typically it's about 10% commission, sometimes it's 20, sometimes it's 5 or 7, depending on the brand and honestly the cost of the product. Because if you're talking about a TV that's $1,000, it's probably gonna be a lower percentage because they're not gonna pay you out $200 every time someone buys a TV through your link. And those actually add up over time a lot more than you realize, and that is something that I didn't really focus on trying to do until this year, and I realized it's mutually beneficial because everything I'm talking about in a video is then accessible for viewers to hopefully try to find if they're interested in it. They don't pay any extra money if they were already gonna buy it anyways, but a percentage of the commission goes to the creator. So it's kind of like a win-win because it doesn't cost anybody anything. Those are the primary revenue streams, and then there's a lot of secondary options, but a lot of people will do merch, and that's just one other kind of common revenue stream for creators as well. So with that in mind, I will get into all of these other questions. A lot of people asked, do I reach out to brands? Do brands reach out to me? Or who do you reach out to if you're reaching out to a brand? I think a lot of creators wait for brands to reach out to them. I reach out to a lot of brands. I'm very proactive about finding brands that I already love and want to work with, and I think because of that, I probably do more sponsorships on average than the normal creator, only because I'm sending out a lot of emails to brands I already love. But I would say the number of sponsorships that I actually do are pretty 50-50 for which ones end up being booked, because I'll email a brand and I'll never hear back, or a lot of brands email me and I never respond to them because I'm just not interested in it. So it's about 50-50. The best way to reach out to a brand is on their website. You can see if they have a media, a collaborations, a sponsorship, or a PR contact. And if they don't have one listed, you can either email their general customer service email or DM them on Instagram asking for the correct email address to send over those questions to. Do you have a media kit and what's on it? Yes, I do. And I actually just updated mine for 2021 and I love it. It looks so good. I'm really proud of it. My media kit has a little bio, so a little bit about me. Then it has stats. So I have how many followers I have on each platform. Then I have audience demographics. Like it's 93% female, 7% male. It's like 60-something% US, 10% Canada, whatever, by the countries. And then age range, because people actually really care about your age demographics. Oddly enough, I wasn't expecting this to be such a common question. A lot of people wanted to know how long it takes to edit a video and or to film a video. For me, I would say just the editing part alone is between 1 and 2 hours. But if you're talking about editing, watching it back, re-editing, exporting it, uploading it, creating the thumbnail, typing out the description box, answering all the ad questions, placing ad breaks, all of that. It's about 4-ish hours per video, I would say. Filming videos totally depends on the type of video. So this video, a sit down video, I only really film 10-15 minutes longer than the actual length of the video that you see because I'm not a person that likes to do re-edits. I say things once and then I say it. I don't like to repeat things different ways to see which sounds the best because I just think it doesn't read as genuine. So if it's a 30-minute video, I probably film for 40 minutes and I just cut out unnecessary things in between. But if it's a video like a sip and thrift, that takes all day. Or obviously if it's a vlog and I vlog for 2 days, that takes 2 days to film. So it just depends on the complexity of the video for how long it takes to film, but editing is pretty much in the 4-hour range to complete a video on the back end for me. And I'm not a very in-depth editor. You'll notice I have several different transitions that I'll use, a couple different pop-ups, an end screen, and occasionally some montage music, and that's kind of it. So I'm kind of like a bare bones editor. This one's interesting. It says, how often do you experience having many ideas for videos, but you end up scrapping them or be mid-filming before realizing the video isn't very good after all? I don't think I've ever not posted a video that I filmed, believe it or not. And I've only ever taken down videos if there was something that got misinterpreted or if the engagement was just absolutely crap, because that hurts my analytics overall. So if my average video gets 10,000 views, but one video gets 1,000 views, then that brings my average down pretty significantly, so brands will pay me less. So that's the only time I've ever taken a video down, but I've always posted every video that I filmed because if I already put in the work, I'm gonna put it out there. And I really believe quantity is more important than quality in terms of being successful on YouTube. This one says, what's been your biggest struggle? And I've also seen some questions asking about work-life balance. And I would say my personal biggest struggle is that there's always more you can be doing. Something that really eats at me and is something that I typically have left over at the end of the day is trying to engage and respond to comments because I care about you guys so much. And I wish I had the time to show every single person that I am so thankful that they commented on a video. But if I were to just respond to comments, that would be a full-time job. So that's something that I have to get over that guilt. And I've been working about getting over that guilt with checking Instagram DMs, because if I check DMs and I just respond to DMs, that's a full-time job as well, which is why I'm trying to kind of think of other ways to connect with people that is meaningful and time efficient. I still have on my to-do list to set up a Facebook page because that's what you guys wanted the most, so we could all interact with each other. So that's been my hardest part, is there's always more to do and I always want to just try to get back to every single person, but I have to get over the fact that that's not possible. This person asked, do you get some sort of bonus for hitting 100,000? And no, all you get is a plaque. You get a little bit more notoriety and you have the ability to apply for a verified check mark on your channel. This one's also interesting. It says, do you still make ad money when a video is sponsored? And yes, I think YouTube is one of the most lucrative platforms because it's one of the only platforms, I don't know about streaming platforms, and I think TikTok is kind of trying to play around with this, but it's one of the only main big platforms that you get paid per view in addition to sponsorship. So if you think about Instagram, Instagram doesn't pay you per like or anything like that. You only get paid whenever you post a brand deal on your page. So you are always making ad money on every single video unless it gets demonetized. And when a video is demonetized, it's either too inappropriate and advertisers don't want to put ads on your video, or you're using someone else's content, which is copyright claimed. So maybe someone else's song or too much of someone else's footage. And then the ads from that video go to that creator instead of to you. Those are the only times where you don't make ad money, but otherwise you're always making ad money on a video, which is great because it's semi-consistent money. I mean, my ad money can literally fluctuate thousands of dollars per month and go down a few $1,000s one month, and it's really stressful and scary, but at least you know that you'll be making something off of your ads no matter what. So if you have no sponsorships for a while, there's a little bit of peace knowing that that is always there somewhat. This is important that I want to let you guys know. A lot of people want to know the best way to get started or how to get to a point to where you are making money on YouTube. And my biggest piece of advice is don't do it for the money. A lot of people are like, wow, there's so much money on YouTube. I'm going to do this because I want to make a lot of money. And they'll realize it takes a few years to even become monetized for most people, and then they'll just give up. But if you do it because you love the process and it's just a fun hobby, then you're going to keep at it for those few years and eventually you will start making money. It took me 3 3 or 4 years to actually make more than, you know, $100 a month off of this. And that is a lot of time, but it takes you 3-4 years to get a degree in college. And if I think about it that way, in my mind, this is way more fun than what I would be doing using my degree, and actually has ended up paying better than using my degree. And it's on my own time, which is great. So don't do it for the money, do it for the process. And keep in mind too, like, hey, college takes that long. Might as well stick this out for a handful of years and see where it gets me. Do YouTubers make money if we press skip ads? They do, but they make less money. YouTube won't reveal the exact percentages, but all they let you know is the more that an ad is watched, the more the creator gets paid, because the more the advertiser pays YouTube. A lot of people too want to know about how much brand deals pay, and I didn't understand this until I was here, but YouTubers don't often talk about how much brand deals make for multiple reasons. They're actually contractually obligated to not share those numbers to protect the brand. And then also from the creator's point of view, one thing that's great about being a YouTuber is you kind of consistently increase your rates as your channel grows. And so if I say out loud right now how much my rates are and a brand sees that in a year from now, they might be like, oh, we want to pay you those rates because we heard you say those. But there's multiple ways a brand pays you. If it's just an inclusion, meaning you talk about it for 60 seconds or whatever that might be, it's a much smaller number. And there's also something called a dedicated video where it will be a haul, or it will be an unboxing, or it will be a review. Literally the whole video is about that brand. My rates for those is almost 3 times as much as an inclusion. So those are like the big money videos, and those are the ones that are really good for YouTubers. So if you like dedicated unboxings or dedicated hauls, engaging on those for channels that you love is huge, because that will hopefully bring creators more of the dedicated videos, meaning they'll be able to have bigger sponsorships up on their calendar, which is huge. A lot of people wanted to know when I started gaining actual income from YouTube. It took me about 3 years of being pretty consistent on YouTube before I got monetized. Then I was making like $100 or $200 a month for the first year. The second year I remember making about $750 a month, and then it kind of increased to, I think I was probably making about $3,000 a month when I decided to quit my job, and it's grown since then as well. A question I saw recurring as well, which kind of goes off of that, is how much do I pay myself every month? Because it is really hard. Literally some months will be half of previous months as far as how much money I make, which is really scary. It's scary to deal with an unknown amount of income coming in. But what I do is I have all of my money funnel into one account, and I don't touch that. I pay myself a paycheck once a month. And I currently pay myself $3,500 once a month from that account. And that account has been building up. So now that account can pay me with no income for like 6 months, which is great. So that's kind of my safety net, my emergency funds. I have that peace of mind in the back of my head of I could literally make $0 for 6 months and still live off of this income, which is great. Some of you might know we're house hunting and we're gonna be hopefully moving into a slightly bigger space. So whenever we do move, I'll probably up my payment to myself to like $4,000 a month. But I always try to live below my means and have that safety net, that reservoir, and that other bank account that I don't touch, so that I know that my employer, which is me, has enough money to pay me, the employee, for however many months with no income coming into the business, which has been really, really helpful for dealing with unknown amounts of income. A question that's recurring is, how do you come up with the videos that you're gonna film? And I always have a fear in the back of my mind that one day I'm gonna wake up and just be completely out of ideas. So whenever I have an idea that hits me, I write it down, because it's kind of crazy how fleeting those ideas can be. I can think about that idea on Monday, and by Tuesday I'll be like, what was that video idea I thought of? It was so good, but I can't remember it for the life of me. So writing it down is huge. Also, whatever is interesting to me in my life, I just try to figure out a way to make it into a video. Like if I really want to redo the shelf in my kitchen, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go thrift a couple new things for it and turn that into a whole new video. And it's something I wanted to do anyways. And since I'm excited about it, hopefully it will be a good video and something that people will want to watch. And lastly, something that's hugely helpful is always commenting videos that you want to see. It's always helpful to know what people enjoy watching, and then to also just write those ideas down to have in your back pocket as well. It's like collective brainstorming. So I always appreciate whenever someone leaves a video request, because it's mutually beneficial, I think. How does the money get to you? Well, YouTube pays you once a month, typically on the 21st of every month, which is super weird. I don't know why they chose that day. Brand deals will be sometimes net 15 or 14, net 30, net 60, meaning sometimes 60 60 days after your video goes live is not until you get paid. And then affiliate links are the weirdest. Affiliate links could take a long time. Sometimes it's immediate. So there's one brand that I link all the time. Literally every time someone makes a sale from them, they'll deposit $5 in my PayPal, which is so random because you'll see like multiple $5 deposits come in at once. And then other brands, sometimes through larger platforms, there's actually affiliate linking platforms like Reward Style or Magic Links, things like that can literally be net $145. So you won't get paid till a half a year later, which is crazy. Income percent breakdown of AdSense, sponsored videos, other. So for most people, sponsored videos are the highest, like 60% of their income. And it's funny because I do a lot of sponsorships, but I think I don't charge enough. I should probably up my rates. And I have actually pretty good CPM for my AdSense, meaning per view, I get paid probably higher than, actually definitely higher than the average person, because you guys, my audience, is what advertisers like the most. Typically, this is really bad to say, but not bad to say, it's just weird to say. Advertisers by far pay the most for US viewers, and I have a majority US, which is helpful. So because of that, my AdSense is actually slightly higher than my sponsorships. I would say if we were to just look at those two, AdSense is 55% and sponsorships is 45%. If we were to look at all of them, I would say AdSense is 40%, sponsorships is 35%, and affiliate links is the rest. What is that, 25%? I would say that's about right, give or take. How many hours do you usually work in a week? This is probably not average because I do put out 4 videos a week in addition to a podcast and a blog and running a brand. And so most YouTubers put out 1 to 2. Typically bigger YouTubers have help like editors and all that type of stuff. So currently I work 10 to 12 hour days on weekdays and then probably like 5 to 6 hour days on weekends. So worst case scenario, what is that? I haven't even added that up ever. Ooh, maybe like 70 hours a week. That's not good. I'm not trying to glorify overworking. A lot of my work is very passive though. Like editing, I can literally do on the couch. Responding to comments, I'll do while I'm watching TV. So a lot of it is passive, but that's probably how much I work. And my goal is to not do that forever. I would love to get to a point financially to where I can hire out help, like an editor, or that's kind of the main thing, isn't it? That's a big thing. I want to do just a couple more. There's so many good questions. Maybe I'll do a part 2 if this video performs well. One key to YouTube is doing videos that you're really excited about, but also perform well, because like I said, if something tanks, it actually drops your analytics and you'll make less money from brands. If you want a part 2 of this, comment, like, do all those things to the algorithm, and I would love to do a part 2, but I want to get through a couple last things. This one's really interesting. How much more did you actually make in December than other months? I was transparent about the fact that YouTubers put out extra videos in December because that's when ad rates are highest and they really tank in January. So YouTubers will kind of push out content in December and kind of take the back seat in January when it doesn't make as much money anyways. What's interesting is this year my highest month was November, and this is my theory why. November was leading up to December, so ad rates were still high. Advertisers were pushing out money for holiday sales. I think they probably also had some money left over by the end of the year because they were probably kind of hesitant at the beginning of the year with everything going on in 2020. But I think that in December there is too much content to keep up with. It's really oversaturated. I know personally, like, one YouTuber that I watch every single video of is Aspen and Parker. And then in December, I don't think I've seen any of their videos because there's just been so many videos everywhere. I haven't been able to keep up. So my views actually dropped in December. Though my ad rates were highest, I made less money. And though I put out more videos, I made less money. And I think it's because there's just so much content, which I found really interesting. I had never really realized that before. Why do you do videos so far in advance? Right now, I'm actually only like filming 4 videos in advance. I typically film 6 to 8 videos in advance. For me, that's how I show love to my future self. Knowing that I'm always ahead means I can say yes to things and take time off if I need to. And I think it really stems from being in the acting world because you literally never know if you're gonna book a shoot and then be gone in a different country for 2 weeks doing something. And I never wanna really take off of work except for the intentional Christmas break I just took. But that's just my work style and my workflow. I've always been the kind of person, if I get a homework assignment Monday and it's due Friday, I do the homework assignment Monday. That's my personality and it's how I feel least stressed, is to just always kind of be ahead. I'm trying to find the middle ground of that mentality of I don't need to be ahead to be successful, but instead I choose to be ahead to have the options to take time off if need be. And that just makes me feel a lot better. But I will say, there's been a lot of times where I film a video way ahead, and by the time I get there, friends I know have already put out like the exact same video, and it looks like I'm copying them, even though I filmed it 3 weeks ago, and I kind of cringe at that. And then when you put out a video sooner to when you filmed it, you kind of feel more of an attachment to it because you remember what you said and you remember how much fun you had doing it, and it just means more. So I will say that those are a couple negatives to filming in advance, but I still prefer to do it that way. I think I just talked on for almost 30 minutes pre-edit, but I would love to make this into a little bit of a series because I really did love doing YouTube consultations, and maybe instead of, you know, charging for one-on-one consultations, I can continue to just be transparent and answer your questions in person. Oh, I will end with a very juicy question. I will say I've become much more hesitant talking about money. I love to talk about money because I think it's so important to not be taboo, but I loved talking about money when I was waiting tables and people knew I really wasn't making any money. Now that I am comfortable, I feel weirder about it because I don't want it to seem like it's coming from a conceited place. But this one I thought was really, really interesting, and it says, what's the most money you've ever made in a day from AdSense? I will say my AdSense, it fluctuates a ton. Some days I make $100, some days I make $300. It really depends. But I had one day this year where I made almost $700 in a single day from AdSense, which was crazy. It was actually the day I posted my quitting my acting video, which was very, very interesting that one just kind of blew up in one day, and it was a very quick run of a video, but it performed really well for those couple days. So there's a couple real numbers for you. But as I said, if you'd like a part 2, I'd love to make this into a series. So comment it down below, and if this performs well, let's do it again because there's so many more questions. I love y'all with my absolute whole heart. Thank you for watching, and thank you for allowing me to be transparent about business things. It really does make my heart happy to talk business. I don't know why. It's my personality. I hope you have the best rest of your day, and I will see you in a video very soon. Cheers. Bye. All that we have is each other now.